Hi, let's look at how to make this paper work. First of all, we're talking about a current topic, and this one is going to go away. So it's only going to be here today and gone, in a week or two. However, it's received a lot of publicity, and it is one that's worth our attention. So we don't want to take the approach that, well, I'm not a football fan. I don't really care about that, or I don't really like the guy, or whatever. Or he throws too many interceptions, or I'm a Raider fan. So I'm going to just dismiss it and not really dig into the heart of the issues. So another approach that we don't want to take, it's okay sometimes for a forum, but it really works very poorly for an argument that we are going to put in print, that we're going to write, that's an academic argument. And that is, oh, don't do this to me. Don't write, I feel, or in my opinion. Oh, no, don't do that. I'm going to cross those up. Why? It is all right for casual conversation, for emails, for whatever, I don't care if you tweet it, but it really is not an argument. No, I'm not interested as an instructor in what you feel necessarily, or in what your opinion is. I am interested in your use of reasoning to bring the reader to respect your positions. So not feelings, not opinions, but positions that you're taking, or a position that you're taking on the issue. So that's why I'm going to go on to the next step and just maybe suggest this to you. It's not the only way to do this. You notice from your book, your handbook, that there are lots of ways to frame a thesis statement, and I'm sure you're familiar with many. We'll get into more. One way is to subordinate, that is, to use a subordinating conjunction. So let's just take off the top of our heads a possible position, and there are many on this. So we might take the position, although Colin Kaepernick's action could be seen as unpatriotic, and that's the lead in sort of respecting the opposition views, his right to free speech enables him to take this stand. All right. So there I've got my thesis, and there are veterans who support his right to express himself in this way, and they are of the opinion that their sacrifices protect that. There are veterans on the other side, but we are trying to avoid purely emotional arguments, purely pull at the heartstring arguments. So here is a really, really good way to go about building your paper, because you want to build it into sufficient words. For one thing, you want development. How do we do that? Well, not just by my position, or not just by my point of view, but by what? Dig out those opposition arguments. Go into the specifics of those opposition arguments, and if you will, take them apart, dismantle them, defuse them. So this way we're not just operating in a vacuum as if to say, well, I've got my opinion, and that's just my opinion. This is not a bumper sticker on a car that we're trying to promote here. It is a reasoned approach and a balanced approach to looking at the various points of view. So if an opposition argument states that, for example, and this does have to do with your position on patriotism, and it's not just a one-liner, it has to do with going into some depth and detail and expanding that. But if one of the opposition arguments is that, let's say, for example, patriotism has a great deal to do with respect for the flag, with respect for the national anthem, and that Colin Kaepernick could and should have taken a much different action, such as a press conference, to express his views on this issue. So you flesh that argument out. Now, you flesh that argument out, and you've gone into some background about the issues, because we don't assume that the reader automatically knows everything about what happened. So you've gone into that. Then you state that argument, and you interact with it. What are your objections to that? What would be your refutation to that? So you see what we're doing is a kind of back and forth that resembles a conversation. an enlightened conversation, not the type of conversation, unfortunately, that we're hearing all too often now in the political arena, where it's, let's hurl this accusation at this person, and let's then just see if we can make it stick. It doesn't have to have any evidence. Let's just throw the accusation out there. We can't do that. We need evidence. We need reasoning. We need support. Okay, so I get back to where we started. I claimed that the first week in this course that you are freed to be able to interact in the conversation, the larger conversation of public discourse, if you know how to paraphrase, if you know how to document, if you know how to look up information. And please, be skeptical about some of your sources. Some of them that you're going to find online are viable. Others are just blogs or attempts to smear the individual who is expressing the viewpoint and disqualify the viewpoint entirely based on smearing the individual. That's not the kind of source we're interested in, but there are plenty of them out there. And yes, some of them internet, but document correctly. Okay, I'm going to refer you to, again, how to support, how to document, but you want to document correctly. So, I mean, really, that's it. You build your argument based on your response to opposition arguments, and you treat those opposition arguments rationally, right? Rationally. Okay, well, I hope that helps a little bit. This is a new topic, a new paper, and if I can be of further help, please be sure and let me know. Well, signing off for now, and best of luck. Oh, I did want to mention, I'm going to back up the due date on this just a bit to give you a chance to be on the forum, because in the forum, the peer review, your peers are going to respond to your paper, and you're going to respond to theirs, and I'm going to do my level best to respond to as many papers as I can. So given that we take the week doing that, then I'm going to delay the due date into next week so you can have a chance to add any kind of tweaking you want to your paper, any fine-tuning you want to put in the paper. But again, digging into specific issues, using specific arguments, using specific evidence, it came out that in a sense, perhaps there was some discrediting he did to his own argument by wearing socks with little piglets on them and police uniforms. That was a pretty low form of argument right there. Does it completely disqualify, though, the protest as a form of argument? It's up to you to decide, but I'm not interested in, I feel, my opinion, and so on. I'm interested in reasoning. I'm interested in arguments. I'm interested in your use of support. Okay? All right. Well, enough said. See you later. Best of luck.